It's not loud enough.
Hello and welcome back to Corzeons. Today we are talking about X-Men villains with a heavy dose of my favorite villain, Apocalypse. Now, yes, it's true that the Batman episode with Jonah gave me a hankering for digging out some of my old X-Men toys, and it makes me very excited to talk about oldies and goodies today. We will, however, not be discussing the X-Men movie, X-Men Apocalypse. 'Twas crap, as they say. And I'm just going to join the internet bandwagon in saying that was shitacular. Aside from a fun Quicksilver scene and cameo with good old Wolverine, and Oscar Isaac is awesome, regardless of the Apocalypse character itself being terrible. Yeah, it was not great. You know, hopefully he does good as Solid Snake in the upcoming Metal Gear movie, if that ever happens. And that would be pretty sweet, but I think it's safe to assume that it's probably going to be terrible if it ever happens. Anyway, Apocalypse is the bomb diggity, taking it back. We'll finish up this episode with several of the figures. First, we're going to start with other villains, though. We're going to go in order of most crappy to least crappy in Corzeon's opinion. Most of these are straight from the animated series era, back in the early 90s. So, let's transport back to a simpler time. I forgot my light again. Why don't we get the show on the road, guys? Why are we dilly-dallying over here? First up is my Jewish friend Magneto. Great character, terrible retro toy. And that's why we're starting with him. Check it out. He used to have a cape that has been lost to the scourges of the Earth's crust. Maybe a bug made a nice little lean-to out of it. The gimmick on his back, and when you press on it, he cracks nuts. No, I'm just kidding. I think it made like a sparky, kind of like a sparky lightning in his chest or something. I don't remember that happening ever, but I think it's just to signify his power to control metal. I guess it's sparky. Sparks could be on metal. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool. I changed my mind. Wait, no. Maybe it's lights up because he's really Iron Man, which is a metal. Mind blown! Whoa, holy MCU crossover, here we come. Anyway, this is my least favorite figure of the bunch because it looks kind of dumb. He's just got a dumb face. I dig the eyeliner though. And there's not much to it. I don't know, it kind of just looks like one of those retro toys that you'd buy now, but I don't think that existed in the 90s. I think the ones now are mimicking the crap toys from before. The articulation in these old toys is kind of limited. The head spins, the arms spin, there's an elbow bend, nothing at the waist, no ball joints either, just like straight swivels. Legs go back and forth a little bit, knees bend, and he has some weird hand poses. With his other, it's not quite a fist. It looks like he's trying to hold something. I don't remember if he came with something, maybe a staff or maybe like one of those old-timey U-shaped magnets. Woo, look at me, stick to stuff. And his other hand swears that turkey was this tall, man. I swear, it was this tall. This is one of my least favorites, and other than the eyeliner, pretty dumb. Next we have this handsome fella, I believe his name is Omega Red. I think he had some tubes in his arms or something like that. I feel like he did, maybe he didn't. He definitely had a ponytail, there's a hole there that has also fallen out. I think his deal was that he was Russian and he was pissed. I think he either looks really awesome or really lame, I can't decide. But one thing's for sure, he is the best dancer in the world. You got to work those hips to kiss these lips. His head barely moves. He's got rotating shoulders, no elbows. He's got some knees and his legs move. And at least his waist moves, which is nice, because you're going to need those waists. You're going to need that waist to move when you start dancing. Yeah. Ouch. That's enough of a Red. What do you say? Next up is Mr. Sinister, 1994's winner for Best Vampire Name at the Tony Awards. Is he a vampire? I don't know. Okay, I just Googled it, and he is not a vampire. He is maybe albino, or he really likes sunscreen. Either way, he's white as fudge, and but he looks pretty cool. That goatee fucking rocks. As you can see, I have a habit of losing capes. He had a cape too, no longer. He also has a light up gimmick on his back. When you press it, I believe his chest and eyes would light up. Of course, this no longer works. The flat top also rules. I think I put him in this order just because I just think the name's cool, and I just kind of think he's like a cool looking dude. He does have some of the least articulation of all of these. His head doesn't even move to accommodate the whole light up stuff. There's probably wires in there, like a robot. And yeah, no waist movement, but he does have some, rotating shoulders, legs move back and forth, knees and elbows bend. And as per usual, that is about it. But unfortunately with the head thing, I mean, he's got permanent live action Batman neck going on. Sorry, Vlad, you're done. Next we have Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Some kind of weird man pterodactyl guy. I like this figure because it's crazy. It looks really stupid, but it's got lots of movement, and he's wearing a golden diaper. And you gotta be rich. You gotta be to have a golden diaper, or no. What if it was white in the beginning? The point is, he's pure sex. He is made for sexy poses. Check this shit out. Ooh, I'm peeking at you from behind my wing. Look at this. Ooh. Oh my goodness, I broke it. This toy is like 30 years old. Holy shit. Oh my god, it's actually broken too. Oh my goodness. Well, this is the show to do that though. I mean, if there is a show where things break, it is Corzeons. All right, well, I'm going to talk about the top half and the bottom half separately. And then I guess we're just going to have to do some more sexy poses, but in two separate parts. I'll probably try to glue it back together, but that will end the waist movement in all times. All right, so the legs move. The waist used to move. The tail moves. It is lacking elbows and knees, but right now it's lacking a torso, so that's cool. The wings go flappity flap. There's a nice ball joint at the shoulders. The head rotates. And another cool thing is that you can make this guy talk. Please, I'm still alive and in incredible pain. Kill me! Kill me! Make love to my torso hole! Oh! This dickhead loves to talk. I am Sauron. Look at me. Burp. I was going to say that he's great at photo shoots, but if you can't even keep it together, how are you going to make it in this industry? And last in our non-apocalyptical figures is Cable. I always really liked Cable's character. I thought the whole time travel and his backstory was really cool. And I always thought the Showa design was cool too. And this pretty much is that. So while this guy lacks a serious amount of articulation, I think it looks really cool. I also remember, I think he used to have a big-ass gun, which I have subsequently lost. But without further ado, let's have a look at him. His head moves a little bit. His arms rotate. No waist movement. Thankfully. Sauron! And the legs... The thighs move and the knees bend. Over time, these have gotten pretty loose. He also served as a goaltender in my action figure soccer league that I definitely didn't play or make up teams or leagues or players or playoffs and championships way too long into my childhood. That definitely did not happen. Now that be it, man. That's my Scottish accent I'm trying out how to do. So there's one more look at him. Pretty cool looking. Anyway, like I said, I always thought his backstory was cool, and nothing's better than time travel. Are you sure nothing's better? Get out of here! Alrighty, now it's time to get into the apocalypse zone. Ooh, Christian viewers, you might want to turn this off at this point. First up is Halloween costume apocalypse. I'm calling it that because it looks like an old-timey Halloween costume from from Depression era rural 30s America, where the idea was just to terrify you for days. His face is very stupid looking. It looks like he finished brushing his teeth but did not wash his face. And I don't know, it kind of looks like maybe he looked like this in the original comics back when the drawings were really kind of silly looking. But yeah, I do not like this figure. I do not know why I have it. I do not know why I kept it. I think I kept it only because I was afraid of the curse that I would incur if I were to dispose of it. Anyway, this definitely looks like one of those retro toys that us loser millennials sure do love to eat up with all our disposable income. He looks like shit and his gimmick sucks. We'll get to the gimmick in a minute. Head, shoulders, little bends at the knee, at the elbows, legs move, and knees move. Are you ready for his gimmick? See, a part of Apocalypse's deal is that his powers are vague and wide-reaching. So I think he can pretty much do anything. One of the things he can do is get big. Is everyone ready to see him get big? Let's do it. In case you missed that on the far camera, let's hold it up close, and I'll do it again. Dude is fucking huge. Yeah, he's huge now, and I'm scared. Shitty. Next one up is a slightly newer one. I think I got this as an adult. I believe it came in some kind of Legends 2-pack. Now this is going to be a retooling, repaint of the next figure we'll see, which is going to look very similar. I do really like the colors on this one though. I like the kind of dark turquoise and blackish color. I just think it looks really neat. One thing I hate about this, and the reason this is in this order, because remember, lame to awesome, is that he's got the old poopy face. I hate poopy face. I want a neutral face. I want to imagine a poopy face when pooping is occurring. What if I'm playing and I'm imagining a love scene and he's making poopy face? Actually, yep, that could work. Anyway, the gimmick with these two figures, this one and the next coming up, is that they had interchangeable arms because Apocalypse could pretty much do anything. So one thing he liked to do is change his body into different parts. So these arms come off on purpose, and you could swap out the arms. He also came with tubes in his body as well, like the next figure we'll see. Tubes is one of Apocalypse's things, I guess, but those were removed for playing with, I think, and as usual, are gone. Now this is the next one, and the reason this one is in this order over the last figure, even though this one is seemingly a little crappier, it's got a neutral face, a nice teeny head, which seems to go good with the overall proportions, but a neutral face, which looks pretty cool. I'm a fan. And I'd be lying if I said that this guy was not also a part of that soccer league that I promised did not exist. He never caught the little bouncy ball from claw machines with his claw arm. Again, another goalie. It was kind of a hockey-ish... No, it didn't happen. It never happened. Anyway, I always liked the claw arm for this one, so I kept it on there. Again, this is a really cool figure. They both are cool. I like them a lot. The head moves. The arm rotates. This one rotates too. He's got a nice waist swivel. Bend at the knees and bend at the thigh. So again, pretty standard with all the others in terms of articulation. Nothing crazy going on. But I just really like I like the colors. I feel like this is a more traditional paint, more traditional paint palette thing. And as you can see, I played with this one a lot. It's pretty beat up. But when you love them, you play with them. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite toys growing up. I just always really liked Apocalypse, and I thought he looked really cool and intimidating, and I just love the design. But without further ado, that leaves us to the newest figure in the bunch and the newest iteration of Apocalypse. Let's do it. I am the Apocalypse. Yes. Apocalypse is very cool, and this figure is very cool. This is Marvel Legends Apocalypse from, I think, maybe 2 years ago. Since it's a newer toy and it's a higher price point, the detail and the articulation on this one is going to be real cool, which I'll get to in a moment. Some things I like about this a whole lot. What do you see? A neutral face. Oh yeah. Sure, he's got the sex poo face for later. He also comes with a fist for, again, pooping or sex later, and a human skull. Again, I already mentioned the sex. Comes with a cape, which I have still. Hey! The cape comes off to let you play with it a little bit more. And some of the armor seems to come off too. I don't want to pull too hard on the shoulder pads. I don't want to pull a White Ranger type thing. But this little mouth cowl thing, that pops off too. So you can see him without it. I much prefer him with it. I just think that's like part of his thing, and I think that looks really cool with that on. So that being said, this figure is awesome. We got a nice amount of head movement up and down too. We got full shoulder movement. We got a rotate at the bicep. We got a little elbow bend. We could have done more with that. Nothing at the forearm, but we got the interchangeable hands, which do move nicely. Same thing on the other arm. At the torso, we have a crunch. It's exercise, folks. And a waist swivel. We got full movement in the thigh. Splitty, kicky, yeah! Thigh rotates. And we actually have a double joint at the knee there. Very cool. And the feet don't rotate, but the calf makes up for that. The calf rotates itself. And we got a really nice foot bend to allow for a multitude of poses. It also goes back and forth. See? So all in all, this figure is awesome. Super detailed, super cool looking. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is that I don't really like the red. I like the, I guess, more traditional coloring. But that being said, it's still awesome. And that is why it has a place in my case. Oh, I almost forgot to ask Abel's opinion. Abby, what do you think of Big Old Blue? My goodness. Such an extreme opinion for such a little doggy. Oh my word. Well, folks, that's our show. We did it. We survived the apocalypse, which happens whenever anyone has to listen to me talk for more than 2 minutes. We did it. 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 I'm reading the script. Thank you so much for joining me. Please see all my social media links in the description, along with a screenshot, and consider, if you love me, donating to Patreon. I'm still working out the exclusive stuff. I tried one last time, or 2 times ago, but I'm still working out the kinks, baby. I'll figure it out, though. Is that the doorbell? Abby, what are you doing at the door? How did you learn to ring the bell? You say you were walking by our old studio, you smelled a dead bird, and then you found something, and then you brought it back to me? What is it, boy? A VHS tape? Do I even have means of playing this? Okay, so I grabbed the VHS tape and I jammed it into my laptop. So hopefully it works. I don't friggin' know. I'm gonna go ahead and press play on that, and hopefully we got something going. Who's filming this?
You cannot defeat me. I am the Apocalypse, and I grow.
You look like shit, bub.